Hey there, Silver Tongue Devil here, and Pit Runner is back! At last! Why has it taken several years and a Halloween to give us Pit Runner once again? This has been a great tournament previously. This one couldn't come around soon enough. One of the things that I will say to anybody who is just getting into this game and is not familiar with the pits, this is a very good way to practice in the pits with no problems or no difficulties coming up. You just get to play and you jump in and do your thing and jump out again, and it's great. So what we're going to be doing tonight, I'm just going to be playing through the game. We're going to be looking at the Pit Runner. The way that this works is, so they did a Pit Runners tournament previously, but it wasn't Halloween, so there wasn't any pumpkins about. There's a lot of pumpkins about here. So now, this is the first time I have found, unless anybody, and I've tested fairly rigorously, I've played for a couple of hours today, and I haven't found any difference between a brand new account and like a 100% completed profile account. So this has got to be the first tournament where it truly is equal footing for everybody, regardless of your progress within the game, which is good. Everybody gets the extra peg of armor. Everyone actually gets Blessed Quiver on, as long as you put it, well, I don't know if it matters which one you put it in. That will test tonight. Anyway, so what is this? This is basically jumping into the Pit of Reformation. Perdition was the one previously. Jumping into the Pit of Reformation, going through it as quickly as possible. I think there is a grand total of 89 enemies to kill. We need to destroy them as quickly as possible, and basically the quicker you can do it, the better time that you can get. Well, and skill as well, Fee. And now that I've finished the intro, hang on a sec. Hello, Fee. Hello, Weebs. And hello, Liz, again. I know I've already said this, but hello again, Liz. Right, so, first things first, the prep. Now, I'm going to go on the crossbow. For those of you who can't play the crossbow, it doesn't matter. There is the bow. Bow and crossbow scores are equal. Why should you be listening to me? That's the bow. That's the crossbow. So I'd like to think I've got a little experience in tournaments, and I've got the credence to back it up. And I also have Siobhan on standby with Humble Pie. Hello, LG. Right, so yeah, I'm glad LG's joined us. So basically what you want to do is put your... Oh, I can actually demonstrate this in pass-through. So first technique, good one for you, LG, as well. Take your right control pad, place it on the floor. And then just go back into the game, and you're good to go, basically. It's the one thing that I found has been particularly great for increasing your time within the game. Just drop one of your control pads on the floor, and you can just increase your time. You know, it's one of those things like, drop your control pad on the floor, question mark, profit. Someone ban LG. He'll come in and steal all your times. I'm telling you now. Right, okay, so really the first thing is we have a choice of 3. Now, I would imagine a lot of people... Hello. Hi, K2. A lot of people will be going for Cataclysm. Now, Cataclysm is a good choice. There is one glaring issue with Cataclysm. When the explosions go off, it puts the game into slow time. As you'll see in a minute, when the game is in slow time, I'll demonstrate, and I'm gonna put it here as well. When the game is in slow time, your timer for the round is still ticking down at the normal rate. So as those explosions are going off, they're slowing the game for you, and it's basically doing you a disservice. But we'll put them on so that I can show these factors off. A lot of this is going to be trial and error and me showing you various techniques and various bits and pieces. But let's begin, shall we? Let's actually can get in there. That would make a change, wouldn't it? Right, so first things first. Until you cross the threshold, the timer does not start. So does that mean we just walk into there nice and slowly? No. We want to position ourselves deep into the pit. This was actually... Oh, hang on a second. Let's try not to walk out. If you go on to my Discord, I'm sure Von will be happy enough to put an invite up for you. If you go into my Discord, there is a section within there that has all of the codes. So, right, so first things first, position him. Now, one of the things I have noticed with the pit is it takes an exceptionally long amount of time for the enemies to actually spawn in when they start. If you teleport here, like look at that, it's taken several seconds before anything has spawned in. That's time that is kind of wasted for us, but there's something that we can do with it, which I will show off in a minute. Now, we're just going to have like kind of a bit of a play here. As you can see, they have added pumpkins to the heads of enemies, which explode when hit. And it isn't actually causing any more damage. And I don't think those explosions actually do anything to other enemies, which is unfortunate. I wish the explosions actually blew up enemies. Thankfully, they do not put the game into slow time, which is a good thing. So, you'll see at the moment, I am taking this very slow, very casually, because I know that LG's in the room, and I don't want to show off my route to him, because he might take what I'm doing and be faster. So, there's that. Well, I'll just, like, you know, talk about all the basics until LG wanders off. So, this is just to give you an idea of what's going on within the game. You'll also note as well that I'm using the crossbow. I'm using the crossbow on purpose. And I am using the crossbow in the, what I've dubbed as the gunslinger style, which is crossbow down and low to my left. I advance it a little bit and put it out a little bit further in front of me. But I have it in my non-dominant hand so that I can work the action quite quickly. If I was to change that over, my left hand cannot do that as quickly as my right hand, or as well as my right hand can. Oh, hang on a second. Oh, my phone's resetting itself. Right, I'll be back with you. Why does it keep doing that when I'm in the middle of a stream? I have no idea. Anyway, I can't hear you at the moment. I'll be back with you in just a moment. So, but yeah, we'll slowly go through the game. And as you can see, they've added the pumpkin head things to everything. And I'll be honest, it does make those headshots just a little bit more satisfying than they already are, because there's an explosion to accompany them, which is good. But yeah, as you can see, I'm taking it very slowly and very casually. And the one thing that I will say is there's always the same amount of enemies. Are always in the same or roundabouts same placement and spacing. So if you can start getting, if you do this tournament, the more you do it, the more au fait you should get with everything. Oh, I think my phone's back. 2 seconds. Let me just clear this a second. You'll also see as well, I haven't actually used any special arrows. Okay, that is, I've actually got my first top tip there as well. Note how the green arrow is on the right-hand side and not on the left. So, when you are placing your special arrow at the beginning of the game, always put it on the right-hand side slot. The reason being is because this quiver is blessed, which means that you will actually get more ammunition. Now, oh, hang on. Let me get my speech chat thing back up and running. I have no idea why it turns itself off like that. It's really annoying. Bear with. It is actually a full phone reset as well. I have no idea why. No idea why. Right. There we go. I'll just quickly catch up on the chat just in case there's anything majors that I've missed. So yeah, so that's the first little top tip that I would have for you, is because I know, like, to me it makes sense to put it on that slot, but to others it might not if you are not familiar and au fait with a lot of the systems and various bits and pieces within the game. Yeah, weird. I will. You're quite right, Von. I will talk anyway. I don't have any VR headset at the moment. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, no worries. LG's not going to come diving in and beat us and all then anyway. Don't want to wait a moment. Yeah, it must have been a phone update. I don't know why. Ready for the big storm? I don't know. I've already put a big storm on the leaderboard. I don't know. I've been told that there's something coming in, but yeah, I don't know. I'm sure we'll see it fairly soon. It's supposed to be coming in the next couple of days, isn't it? Proper big cold snap. Anyway, so that is the first thing that I would say. Ensure that you put, when you are putting your special arrow, because the special arrows are quite important within this tournament, ensure that you put your special arrow on this one. The reason being is that is blessed and you basically get more ammunition for it. Special arrows just allow you to decimate the enemies, which is what we actually have to do here, as quickly as possible. Now I'll show you why you don't use Cataclysm. Look at the timer. So 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000, 6 1000, 7 1000, 8 1000, 9 1000, 10 1000. That is going at 1 second per second. Isn't that strange? If we now hold slow time, my phone's resetting itself again. What the hell's it doing? 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000, 6 1000, 7 1000, 8 1000. Now, note that the enemies will move in slow time. It's going to be very difficult to demonstrate. Oh, there you go. The enemies will move in slow time, but the clock does not move in slow time. So that would be my next massive tip within this game. Take your finger off the slow time button. If you are used to playing this game shot, slow time, shot, slow time, shot, slow time, you can't. Slow time is against you, because whilst you're in slow time and being slow and slowing everything down, the enemy are still moving and attacking at full whack. I have no idea why my phone keeps resetting itself. It only ever seems to do this when I'm live streaming as well. Bloody weird. So, don't use slow time at all. The only time that you should be using slow time, or the quiver select button, is for actually switching between quivers, believe it or not. Now, with all that in mind, watch. See that? See the enemies being put into slow time because of Cataclysm explosions? I have no control of them going into slow time. Yes, it looks cool. Yes, it's awesome. But that slow time is actually against us because, again, going back to the example that I just gave, whilst you are in slow time, the game is, but your clock is not. See? Still the same amount of seconds are ticking whether you are in slow time or not. So, do not use slow time. Cataclysm is good because it destroys big groups of enemies. But Cataclysm is bad because if you are not using slow time, Cataclysm is forcing you to use slow time. These things, that one may not feel like much. Bear with me. That one may not feel like much, but it is the difference between adding an extra few seconds onto your score, where regardless of whatever level you are playing at in terms of skill or knowledge or a combination of both, every second counts. You know, that's one more place on the leaderboard potentially, or like, you know, the difference between maybe making the top 10 or not. What the hell is going on with speech chat? Right, bear with. That's the second time might be because it's got to 100% charge or something. Hello VR Star, and don't think I've missed anything else. Right, I can hear you guys again now, so... oh, the other thing I will say as well, any questions, please ask. I always make a point during these tournaments of giving you every single thing that I can. But even I forget about some of the things that I'm doing to get a decent time. So do ask. I will happily tell. You don't even... Right, so that is a good question. You don't have to kill... Hang on. Are you talking about bats in... There aren't any. Did he say bats? You have to kill all the... Oh, bads. It said bads. You have to kill everything, okay? The portal doesn't open. The game just ends when you've killed, when we've got that down to 0. So there's 2 enemies left. What my spunk, my magical angelic spunk is telling me is where the last enemies are. So if you are having difficulty tracking down the last enemies, this actually leads them to you. Or leads you to them. So he's there, and if we now move away, normally that magical spunk would, point us in the direction of the exit. But in this mode, it points us in the direction of the last enemies. And I think it activates at about the last 4 or 5 enemies. And there you go, all done. Now, that's a little bit pathetic in comparison to my personal best. So, let us come out of there. Follow the spunk. You shouldn't have to. Sometimes you don't. Normally, you only get that. Sometimes you only get that, or rather, I think it's A, a little bit glitchy as to whether it happens or not, and B, I think it only gives you an idea if you are really far away, but then if it doesn't activate, that kind of tells you that the enemies are within the vicinity. So, another thing, if you are capable of playing the bow and the crossbow, both to a reasonably good level, and if you do this whole gunslinger style thing that I do, you'll probably find the crossbow a lot easier going on the old shoulder, arms, wrists, and various bits and pieces than you would find it on the bow. I would highly recommend using the crossbow to do a couple of runs, and then go for a run on the bow. This is a competition of stamina, basically. I've probably only got, if I played the bow from morning until evening, I've probably only got maybe 5 or 10 good, solid runs in me, and even then I'd probably be feeling that after a session like that. What I do is I break up my sessions using the crossbow, so I'd have 2 or 3 on the crossbow and then go for 1 on the bow. Again, you might find that difficult because switching between the 2 can be a bit of a pain. Anyway. So, yeah, exactly. I didn't... The Dungeons of Eternity thing. The Dungeons of Eternity thing that I put up today, the gunslinger side of things came from this. What I will show you as well is the motion. And the motion is that. And it's click, clack. Oh, actually, might be able to show you off. You concentrate on that, get that going, and trust your arm to do the same thing. But it's literally that. And then click, clack, click, clack. So it should look like that. And you can actually draw the crossbow from all the way down here. So you can make things, you can put the crossbow way in front of you. And I will say that I do think I have a little bit of an advantage with the Quest 3 because the tracking is very, very good on the old Quest 3. Mate, definitely try it. Definitely try it. The thing is, as well, the other thing that I would say is anybody who is not familiar with the tournament, anybody who is not familiar with the tournament, doesn't like tournaments, doesn't like pits, doesn't like any of these bits and pieces, if you do not finish a run and put a time in, you won't get any legend points. So my advice would be, whether you're good at the bow or the crossbow or both or neither, pick one up, go into the portal, finish the pit, either die or finish, and then you will get some legend points. Legend points go towards your legend rank. Legend ranks is how you get the shiny stuff, the cool stuff, the really good stuff. Hang on, Radius. No, I haven't seen the new Tabor map yet. I only just started playing Breaches again the other day, and I haven't even been able to check out the shipment map on that. So Ghost of Tabor is something that may be on the cards. I've got to test stream it and see if the Quest 3 can handle it whilst it streams, because the Quest 2 definitely couldn't. Right, so we have this. And we also need to make sure it doesn't actually show where the Blessed Quiver is, but I'm telling you now, it is the one to the right. So if anybody is putting the Tempest, because everybody should be using Tempest, I think. Everybody needs to be putting the Tempest on the right-hand side. And the reason being is because the Blessed Quiver will increase this by 33%. So it makes it go up to 39. More of the special arrows that are allowing you to get a better time is a very, very good thing. Let's go back in. So, my start in this game would actually look... Got to be careful of these candles, they're quite substantial. My start on this game actually looks something like this. So I load... first thing I do is I load the Tempest. This is with the crossbow. Then I load the teleport. The reason being is because once I fire this teleport, the next thing that I load is going to be Tempest. You want to be using, I think, your Tempest right from the beginning, making use of them. So what I would do, note how I haven't crossed the threshold yet. And what I do is I lean, well, I had it earlier, lean out as far as I can and fire that shot down there. Now, one of the things... So this is me doing something like a proper run. Note what I am not interested in. I have no interest in ghosts. Why? Because ghosts die when they touch me. I don't want to be getting hit by anything else, ideally. But I don't mind getting hit by ghosts. Because... when you get hit by ghosts, it kills them. We have loads and loads of life in this game. So, why not make use of it? Take out the odd one. We're on 3. Now, I haven't been quite as fortunate with my Tempests as normal. Right, how many are we on? 9 left. Oh, there's a cheeky one up there. It doesn't give you more life, but you do get the maximum. How many have we got left? 3. So I probably missed a couple there, but I've gone a different route as to what I would normally do. Look at all this time I'm wasting. Where is he? Oh, there they are. 1. And 360. Bow! Lovely. Under 2 minutes. So, that's something like how I would play it. So, one of the things that I've seen from other people's runs, one of the things that I think people are doing wrong, okay, is you actually get 13 chunks of life. So, well, did you not appreciate the 360 no-scope headshot at the end? Come on now. So, we have 12 pips of health. You also, regardless of your progress within the main game, again, I am celebrating Super Bright not turning this board into a house of lies like they usually do. So, you get 12 plus 1 piece of armor. You may look at this as a life bar. I look at this as a way to kill ghosts for free. So it then means that we don't have to concentrate on the vast majority of the ghosts. And what is the one thing, like, you know, you can be amazingly trained at headshots within this game and have great accuracy, but you're still having to lower your shot and then heighten your shot for headshots and then lower it back again for chest shots on ghosts. Doing it this way, you have to kill less ghosts yourself, and you use your life bar. If you are not getting down to the last couple of blocks of life by the end of a run, then I'm sorry, but you are doing it wrong. This is a resource to be used. If we were only allowed to get one hit, then this would be a very different tournament. But we can get hit 12 times before death. No, they're not. One of the things that I will say as well, my top run, well, the run wasn't actually quite as good as it could have been. I'm still pretty sure I can get that under 115. But I did manage to do something that I've been trying to do, and getting the last group of ghosts all hit me at the same time. They actually killed me, but because the last enemy procced off, it ended, and that's part of how I got my time. Also being a bit fast as well, reasonably. So, I have had to play with Wildfire. I don't see the point of Wildfire. You cannot take nearly as many enemies out with Wildfire as anything else. Normally in Pit Runner, you know, there's like at least a bit of a choice. Here, there's only two clear choices. Nobody would take Wildfire because all it's doing is kind of upgrading your normal arrows slightly. It's not good enough. This has got massive killing potential. It's basically a railgun shot for those of you who haven't used Tempest. It goes through multiple enemies. So that's another part of the strategy that we can implement as well. Moving yourself into a position to shoot plenty. I'd like Azure's Fury, actually. Cynthia, it's a good question. Azure's Fury was the arrow to take on the last Pit Runner. And the reason being is because you can kill multiple enemies that are out of sight with it. If you go back in my video library, and if anybody's interested, and go to some of my oldest videos, you'll see me do a 1 minute 50, and this was when I wasn't that good on the crossbow, I might add. 1 minute 52 second run on Pit of Perdition, and that was using Azure's Fury. And basically what you did is you got into position about midway through the level and just leathered the incubi with Azure's Fury, and it just electrocutes everything else around it and kills it all off quite quickly. Again, though, same tactic with the ghosts. That's part of the place that I got it for. See, Azure's Fury isn't usually... Azure's Fury isn't usually a good arrow. I like it because I like the effect. I think the effect is cool, and I like the fact that it stuns enemies. So, no, the enemies are not randomized. So that's another thing that I like about this Pit Runner tournament is in the previous Pit Runner tournament, the groups of enemies that could be within the pit fluctuated between archers, skeletons, skeleton archers, and knights, and the various combinations. In the Halloween Pit Runner, everything that you go up against is either an abomination, a ghost, a skeleton archer, a monk archer, just the brown ones, or an incubi. That's all the enemy variety there is. And I like that. So, now one of the other things, part of the reason why I do the start that I do here, and you'd find this easier if you were right-handed, but you don't cross the threshold and you want to lean out and fire. And the reason being is because there is a ghost in the middle of this room, and if you don't take it out quickly, it can float up as it's trying to chase you through the level and despawn in the middle of this area, or in the middle of a lot of areas. The other thing as well is, in this starting part, there's not actually a lot of enemies, but there is a decent concentration of enemies over here. So I usually take out that lot. Note the railgun effect. And note as well how I'm now trying to be a little bit more efficient. Don't care about the ghosts. Kill you. Up here, kill you. Let the ghosts catch up. Right, check there, just in case. Now, do bear in mind, so like for instance, I should have stayed up there a split second longer. See how much more time that ghost cost me? How did he hit me? I'm not going to go over here. Normally I would go this way, kill that one, jump over here. Note how I'm trying to put myself into positions where I'm lining multiple enemies up. Because if you play this one a few times, you'll get to know the layout of the enemies and where the clumps are. And so you want to position yourself there so that you can do the maximum amount of damage to the most amount of enemies. 2 life left. Now, it's where it gets a bit risky. And now we're kind of forced to kill ghosts. Because we haven't got many enemies left. Where's your friend? I need your friend. Can't hear him. Where is he? There he is! Don't look at the hand, don't look at the hand. Boom! Oh no, I didn't do under 2 minutes. Oh, that dicking about. So. Hello, Indy. Oh, promises, promises, big boy. And, hello, Nania. Okay, welcome to the stream. So, what else? So, we know that the amount of enemies is fixed. We know that the enemy's positioning is also fixed. So, other than teleporting deep. So, let me show you what happens when you turn into the game normally. Look at all that time we have to waste, and then we're presented with a couple of enemies and a ghost. And look at all this time I'm wasting by just, you know, shooting them. So what I'm trying to show off here is I'll still let the ghosts get me. I'm trying to show off the importance of Tempest. Does he? You'd make a fucking great politician, you would, Indy. That's about the 50th flip-flop you've done recently. See what sort of time I can get doing this normally. But look how as well, so part of the reason why I'm doing this without specials is just to show that A, you can do it, but look at all of the things that I'm having to do without my lovely, lovely Tempests. There's a lot of shots that I'm being forced to take at longer ranges that are more difficult. Like, you know, if I just had Tempests for taking out the groups of guys that are in there, that would be very welcome. So, I've gone a bit the wrong way here. This is part of the reason why I don't come this way and go round the other way, is the ghosts rise up and then into here. Whilst they're going through all of this solid ground, I can't hit them. And so because I can't hit them, then... Because you can't hit them, they're then not a valid target, and we can't be quick by taking them out. Excuse me. Bam. Woo. 223, no specials. That was actually quite slow. As far as the Pico one's concerned, as I understand, actually, I do have a little bit of information, but it's kind of been told to me by Beanie in confidence, I think. So the reason, I think they're purposely not running the Pico and the Quest tournaments in tandem for a reason, just, you know, to give each their time in the limelight. So, and unfortunately for anybody who does have a Pico, I have one of those too. Stream sound. Okay. Oh, hang on. When you say shill helmet, tried one PCR game so far. The other had issues. 27 days. Oh, right. So you did buy it then, because you say that it's a shill helmet, but it's only a shill helmet if you got it for free. Or, you know, you're Shambassador. Have you gone full Shambassador, Indy? Oh, nice one, mate. Well done. You'll never be able to express your own opinion again. Never had that problem myself. So, what else is there that I can give you? So, the main points here are be fast. You don't necessarily have to go for headshots either. If you are on semi-shill, if you are on the crossbow, remember that the crossbow in this game is the weapon that does all the damage up close. It's part of the reason why Tempest is such a great arrow on the crossbow, because the Tempest does standard damage regardless of the range. You'd still want to use the Tempest on the bow, but the Tempest is the perfect arrow for the crossbow. So when we are shooting normal arrows, it's about that sort of range where you will, like if you were hitting that thing, that sort of range is maximum damage. So, well, maybe a little bit further than that. So that's where you want to be. The way the bow works is the opposite. The further the enemy is away, the more damage you do. The Tempest arrow is fantastic, or Tempest bolt in this case, is fantastic for the crossbow because you can just hit anything at any distance for KO levels of damage except incubi. So that's the other thing that I have been doing as well, is I am specifically changing my arrow from Tempest to normal shot for dealing with the incubi, because using Tempests on them is a bit of a waste unless you are going to hit an incubi with the intention of hitting something behind, which, because this is fully upgraded for all players, does bonus and additional damage. So again, Tempest on, then select your teleport arrow whilst you have, because I don't know if people with the crossbow know that you can do this, but you can switch between teleport arrow and your special arrow. If you have your special arrow loaded up, the next thing that you pull will be a special arrow. So let's go again. So again, we want to go into the level as far as possible. It'd be ideal if I could hold it in my right hand, but you don't want to be going far enough. I don't know where the line is. I think it's actually that line, and you can kind of lean over it, and we want to be firing deep. We want to be firing deep into there. Then load up your Tempest arrow. If that guy hits me, I don't really care. Try and go for the headshots when you're going for these guys. Now, the other reason why we want to be taking plenty of hits is because one of the little known effects is when you take damage within the game, if a ghost is right in front of you as well, do, you know, try and make some sort of effort to take it out. Yeah. Hear all those ghosts dying. Isn't it glorious? Any in there? Any in there? No. Now, we've actually a superior headset. Gone the wrong way here. Silly boy. We're also very low on life, so we can't actually afford to take hits like that. Cheers. Are you? Are you indeed? I definitely think you should get IDU. Show us what you're made of on this leaderboard. How's about it, Indy? Join us. He never will. He's cock teaser when it comes to these sort of things. Boo. Oh, come on! There you go, that was the last one. Hey, happy days. Loads of pissing about there as well. So, that should show you that the premise of switching. So we want to be using our Tempests for killing the masses, and you want to be trying to maneuver your way. You want to be trying to set yourself up in a route where you have enemies lined up. That way you can take multiple. Yeah, no worries, dude. Yeah, I don't think they've announced it very well, but I definitely know, well, I assume the Pico version is definitely coming. I don't know what you're talking about, Indy, in VR. This is VR Princess here, and I'm just a strong single mother. Strong single mother just trying to make it in an IDU world dominated by blokes. So, what else? I think so, but I'll go through it again. The thing is, there's lots of things that I'll go over multiple times because, you know, halfway through the stream I might be talking to a different bunch of people and you'll have missed out. So basically, we've got all of this, so look here. Now, I have confirmed that regardless of whether you have a 0% profile or a 100% profile, I've also confirmed whether you have Blessed Quiver equipped or not, you get Blessed Quiver, whether you have the achievement that gives you all the life and the armor. In previous tournaments, they've said that everybody has the same, but then I've seen myself starting off with armor, and people who haven't got that unlocked haven't got that. I know, aren't I just? Good one, Indy. So, basically, I look at, okay, if you are going through Pit Runner, we'll play this in slow time, this one. If you are going through Pit Runner and you are struggling, then kind of ignore my advice. But the level that you want to be getting up to is making sure you have enough life to, well, look, right? 83 enemies left. Hits me. I lose a life. I actually lost my armor. Goes down to 82. Hits me. Goes down to 81. The way that I look at my life bar, because I shouldn't be taking very many hits, is that, and I'll talk about the damage in a minute as well. Each one of those is just basically a free kill for me, and it's a free kill that's even better than a normal kill. I don't have to be present and mindful of it. I don't even need to be aiming at the enemy for it. So, one of the other things as well that you may or may not know about the game is 902 damage from popping a headshot on an enemy at that range. If I now take a hit, try and find one. There's one. Oh. Huh. Interesting, that didn't work. Huh, why is that not working? There, that's what it should have shown, 3,785. That's because I took damage and then hit an enemy with the next bolt. To be fair, though, it doesn't look like that's working on the crossbow as well as it should be. So we'll kind of ignore that. You want to be taking damage because it basically kills ghosts. The fact that we've got 13 bars of life means that we can take 12 hits before death. That, to me, is way too much life for my purposes. It should, for anybody who can complete pits, it should be way too much life for most people's purposes. I mean, I can just stand here and get hit all to hell and still be on about, well, yeah, well, I'm not dead. And I suppose the point is, whilst I'm not dead, I can still complete. And whilst I can still complete, then, you know, we can still get a good time. What sacrificing my life is doing for me is getting rid of... Like, look, even the most accurate person on this game will still... what's that? Even the most accurate person, and I am not the most accurate person, will still miss those ghost shots. Let me see if I can demonstrate. So, like, easy enough shots to kill, easy enough shots to kill. Easy enough, easy enough. What about this range? Okay, I got lucky there. Need more ghosts. Come on, ghosts, I need you as demonstration. I'm not actually paying any special attention for headshotting enemies either. I'm just firing in the general vicinity. See if we can get some more ghosts up. But note at these close ranges how the crossbow is taking everything down in one body shot. For the most part, anyway, as long as I get close. So you don't... That's another thing is, especially on abominations, not so much on the archers, definitely not on incubi. But look at this shit. This is me trying to hit the white, and I missed it multiple times. That's cost me a second. Same again there. I had to put 5 shots into that ghost to kill it. Or I can just let it get uber close to me and kill me and take a bar of damage off of me, and it's one less enemy for me to deal with. Lovely. Oh, nice little spin at the end there. Wasn't it? So I'll have a go on the bow, shall I? Shall we have a little look on the bow? So yeah. I actually thought that that was working, but it might be because I'm possibly firing too fast. But what's supposed to happen in the game is when you take damage, it just might be bugged in the pit, I don't know. When you take damage, the next shot that you do should do some, I think it's like 200 or 300% more damage. And that's, but even if it didn't, I would still want to. But so basically, I suppose my final thought on the life bar is think as this as a resource. A little bit, actually, Cynthia. I'll tell you why in a minute. So think of your life bar as another resource to be used. We've got tempests, and we've got a finite amount of them. We've got infinite bolts, so we don't need to worry about them. Exactly. As far as the life bar side of things is concerned, if you're getting... I can go through this pit runner, and I can do it without losing any life, but then I'm kind of missing out. It would be like not using one of the tools at my disposal. Now, I've already told you that you can't use slow time, because if you're using slow time, you're slowing the game down, you're slowing yourself down, but the timer still ticks on. So that's a resource that we can't use. See, the problem is, I can't win here because I know that there'll be somebody, because there was in the last pit runner tournament as well. It's like, oh, that's how you got so good a score. That's how you got so good a time. I was treating the pit like it was a real fight, inferring that, you know, getting hit is not what you would do in a real fight. So as far as I'm concerned, you use every resource at your disposal to get the best time. I've had other people say to me like, oh, using slow time, that's a little bit like cheating, isn't it? It's like, well, no, it's not. It's a resource that has its point and can be used within the game. And here is no exception. You use the resources. Like, for instance, I'm sure there'll be somebody out there, but you wouldn't not pick up a special arrow, would you? Because they're being given to you. So why wouldn't you use your life? Well, you know, you wouldn't not use the teleport arrow. The one thing that I do find, this is a little bit of a rant, and then I'll talk about the whole talking to yourself thing. It is, you're quite right, Op. What I do find in these sort of tournaments is people do try to, who want to be at the top or, you know, and haven't been playing it very long and so on, they try and skew the rules into a format where they can win. And hey, that's great. Just don't talk to me about it. I'm here to show you how to win properly or to get your score better properly. So don't use slow time. So, talking to yourself. I do a lot of talking to myself. Not as much as you would think, but I do talking to myself. In these sort of environments, I talk to myself about the route. I talk to myself about where I'm going next. Because just saying it out loud can almost force you to do it unconsciously, or at least I've found that. Like, for instance, when I get to the point where I need to go up or I need to go left, I'll be like, yep, left, 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 left. Or if you're doing really well, like I shout at myself all the time saying, like, look, you're moving like old people fuck, hurry up, sort of stuff, you know. In those circumstances, I would normally reset. So one of the other things that I will show off as well, let's see if we can get this shot. This is a bit harder to get without starting the game. Yeah, cursing's all part of it as well. But curse at yourself, but also congratulate yourself as well. That was rubbish. Note how I'm trying to be as quick as goddamn possible on the arrow changes as well. And you will also find that you'll eat a lot more shots from ghosts early doors. Note the lack of damage that we're doing because we're up close and personal here as well. And there's not really much that we can do about that. I'm gonna have to get out of there because I'm almost dead. Got me. If what I just showed there is not happening, again, in my opinion, you're not playing fast enough. If you are not dying during your runs, then you are not making use of this resource. Let's try that again, shall we? Although, you know, obviously don't die. Get a good time instead. I'm not doing a great job of it, but try to avoid getting hit. By arrows and the like. That wasn't very good. It's not wrong. So one of the things that you can get as well, here are all of those ghosts tearing into my back at the moment. Occasionally what you'll find is some ghosts will do that and they'll die on you but won't take any life because you can only take, in certain circumstances, so much damage at a time. Right, I want to go this way. Kill you. Kill you. Get up there. That shot. That shot. And now we're out of Tempest arrows, unfortunately. And now, basically, we try and kill as many of these as possible, because I don't think I've got the life. Maybe. 3 left. Almost. So that's another thing that I do. Might not be a great idea. If the better you are doing throughout your run, and the less ghosts you have had to kill by having them on your life, gives you more life at the end. And what you can do right at the end to shave loads of seconds off of your score is, if the last bunch of enemies that you have to deal with is a massive bunch of ghosts, you just teleport straight into them. If you can get ghosts to hit you at the same time, they'll die, but as I said, sometimes you'll only take 1 block of life, and it's because there's a little bit of a thing in this game where you get some invincibility frames, but once the ghosts have committed and reached out and touched you, they're dead. So you can get multiple ghosts hitting you, but only losing 1 block of life. I know it didn't feel like that a second ago, but I probably got an instance of that. So you'll also note as well, the bow's a little bit more intense than the crossbow, probably by quite a way, as it happens. Also note I am not sharding. Why am I not sharding? I can't fire whilst I'm sharding. You'll have seen a few times that I'll teleport and then be firing arrows whilst I am waiting for my teleport arrow. It's teleport killing. Thanks, Vaughn. I am actually going to need those 1 hourly battery checks because the Quest 3. So this is the main reason why I'm actually on tonight. I'm finally playing on the Quest 3. How is it? I hear you cry. It's great. It's great. All right, let's get that there. I have finally made it comfortable. I have my lenses in. I have the... What do I have on? I have the M2 on. Initially, I bound it to the sides of the Quest 3 with zip ties. And there's parts that you can remove from the M2. I removed the kind of like top slide bits so that it all sits quite nice and flush, and gravity is also doing some work for you as well as the zip ties. And that can get it quite good. Between my internet dying and me doing this, I've actually got the conversion kit through. And the conversion kit just allows everything to be seated really nice. Thanks, K2. It's really appreciated, actually. Comfort is everything when it comes to VR for me. So, been practicing that voice all week. It's rubbish, I know, but best girl you'll get out of me. But the... Oh, in that case, Emphy, you're going to have to tell me where you got the leather interface from. I haven't checked recently, but I've been looking everywhere for one, and I couldn't find one. So, I mean, as I said, I haven't been on for the last 3 days, but yeah, feel free to either DM me or put a link in the Discord for us or something as well. So, because that's the one thing that I'm missing. What I do have, as I was talking to Weebs at great length, is I have the original faceplate on, which I don't think is very good, but I do have. Oh yeah, I can, can't I? Yeah, I'll try and invoke. Hang on, I have to actually put. I'll actually have to put the mirror up. So here's another thing when it comes to tracking. I usually, not because I'm a poser, it's just because this is where it sits, but I usually have a mirror here. And if I'm having problems with tracking in this game, because different games can have different tracking problems. So there you go, look, see? Got Antolon here. These are the headphones that I've got. They've got another Bluetooth headset inside, and I've just got the M2 to M3 adapter thing on. And again, I don't know if I particularly love the M2 style, the Halo style. I've got my Pico there, which is also on charge. And for those that haven't seen the Bobo, I basically have detachable batteries that then, it's very difficult to show you but model it, but they like magnetically sit back on the back of my head. And I've also got like a chin strap as well. Isn't that great? I'm sure I can do better with that. Oh, hang on. Vogue. There you go. Right, so that's the setup that I've got. And the thing is, I don't think I needed the M2 to M3 thing. Just chopping bits off of the M2 and then attaching it via cable straps was all I needed. However, the one thing that I will say is if you do, and if anyone wants any instructions on it, I'm happy to tell you. But as far as the M2 is concerned, the parts that you would adjust, because I basically took some heavy duty shears or scissors and cut some of the plastic off. The parts that you cut in the plastic off are actually replaced with either with the M3 or the M2 to Quest 3 conversion kit. So you can kind of chop your M2 up a little bit, knowing that the parts that you are chopping up, you could change over. If you are planning on giving your M2 to somebody to use on a Quest 2 and you're getting an M3 to use on your Quest 3, then obviously don't chop it to bits, because then you can't pass it on to anybody. Right, that's enough time talking and giving myself time to recover. So that's another thing that I would have said as well. Do talk to yourself. Do berate yourself when you make mistakes, and do congratulate yourself when you are doing well. But the other thing is, do not push yourself. It's very easy, or push yourself, but know your limits. I think... Maybe. I think I'm the only person that I know that competes at a reasonably good level in tournaments, in IDU anyway, that hasn't injured themselves. I remember the likes of Gonza and Beanie and For the Right and probably LG as well. I'm pretty sure he's pulled something, and definitely Big Smith has as well, and Elite Jonathan, and all these names that we know that you usually expect in the top 5, top 10. They've all pulled something or hurt something, and it's just through repetition, and it's easily done, but do rest. This is part of the reason why I'm glad of the fact that I can actually use the crossbow, because then I can play the crossbow. I can play the crossbow without too much difficulty. John, as well, is another one. And Fish. Who could forget Fish? Fish has definitely injured himself. Fish is injured coming into this tournament, if I remember rightly, because he's been absolutely banging away at his score on the leaderboards of IDU and doing really well. He's top of the board with like 52 million on like Cycle Ridiculous. All right, let's get that ready. Note as well, 39. It says out of 52. What they've done to make it equal is everybody gets 39 Tempests, regardless of whether you've killed all the orphans and got the increase in ammunition for this. It's basically giving you default ammunition for the Tempests and then the plus 33%. So it does make it kind of fair. So the other thing as well is we want to try and make our Tempests last the entire run. Note how I used a little bit of slow time there. And that's because it doesn't matter at that point. Note as well how I'm trying to hit as many enemies as I can with those Tempest shots. And I'm also using Tempest to do the work for me. That was probably a bad idea. I like Perdition. Perdition's one of my favourites. So, lots of ghost hits. Lovely, lovely, lovely. We don't want to take them, but it's all good. Because it's enemies that we don't have to deal with. Any in there? I always like to fire an extra 1 or 2 into those cages. Why are you still here? Oh. And even I haven't done very well there because I'm out of Tempests before time. Immolation could have been a bit of a mixed bag, actually. I don't know if I would have liked a pit runner in oh, there you go, I'm dead. I don't know if I'd like a pit runner in Immolation or not. I think it might be, I don't know, the score, the time that you could be able to get for that, depending on the selection of arrows, could be like stupid. Oh, someone asked as well what the ideal, like, I like Azure's Fury and I like Tempest for what it's doing. In this circumstance, excuse me, I'd probably take Azure's Fury over Tempest. The best arrow to have in all of this nonsense would, of course, be Wrath of God. Divine Sight would not cut it here because there's just too many walls and too many cramped compartments for all of your Divine Sights to just leather it into the wall. So right, let's see if I can actually finish one of these runs and get a decent-ish time. And whilst I'm doing this and concentrating very, very hard, you guys can ask questions. How's that for a deal? Alright, Tempest on. Bam, 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 bam. And take what opportunities we can on what enemies we can. Try and keep the Tempest use down to a minimum. What time? Never. I'm always working, mate. Why? What do you need, dude? Want some one-to-one tuition? That'll cost you. I'm planning on streaming till about 11. If I was, to be fair, it'd be one of these two. I like these ones. I think they're great. Ooh, why are you still alive? This is another thing that you can do as well. I'm just going to put one in there, one in there. You can have that one. Yeah. Yeah, you and what army, though, is the problem. She's one hell of a chick. Telling you that. Don't think you could handle her, if I'm honest, mate. Oh, for fuck's sake. So again, I'm going like the clappers, and the bow is very difficult to do fast because you've got that action to work as well. And also, the bow is very tiring in comparison to the crossbow. So only I would have so many runs in me, decent, like, this is like reasonably speedy for me anyway. I'm also most likely going to get my best times when I'm not streaming. There's a possibility that I might be able to get a decent time whilst I'm streaming because the power of the quest can actually handle it. What's the... What? Oh, okay, fair enough. Oh! Right. If you get a false start, you should do. I mean, it doesn't matter, to be fair, as long as it is showing 39... as far as Tempest is concerned, then you have the same thing as everybody else. Like, for instance, I don't have a green quiver with the bow here, and I have tried turning the Blessed Quiver on and off, and coming in and doing the tournament, see if there's any difference, and there wasn't. The Blessed Quiver only appears on the right-hand side, and only appears when you enter the pit. See if we can actually finish a fucking run, shall we? Be good, wouldn't it? Right, Tempest on, lean out, arrow away, use slow time. Doubtful. I'm really happy the fact that they've managed to do this well, because I mean, they might, what they should do is they should do a sigil. But the problem with them doing a sigil is we'll have to lose one for them to do it. Unless they find a way round that, in which case, run her back when? Run her back now. Damn it, I missed it. So, what I would do in that situation, I missed the teleport shot to get up there, which is just gonna cost me time. So, at this stage, anything that I do from this point onwards is going to be a less... Like, whilst you are practicing and just trying to fucking get through it and survive... Yeah, bye-bye purist indeed. Whilst you're just trying to get through it and just survive at the moment, then I wouldn't terminate any runs, because every single run that you do, whether it results in success or failure, you learn a little bit more. You get a little bit faster. The problem that I have is I can't learn really anything more from a non-optimal run or a failed run. And the only thing that it's doing is eating into my world-renowned stamina and fatigue levels, of which they are not world-renowned. So I want to try and conserve what stamina and what fatigue I have for this tournament, because this is fucking a lot of work, alright? Just saying. Get back in there and stop complaining. So another thing that I would also recommend as well, and this is more for Quest 2 users. Yeah, give the purists pumpkins. Yeah, let them eat pumpkin. Yeah, it's one of the things that is potentially a problem with IDU, and it's a term that I heard... I don't think I've heard it before, but I didn't realise it had a term before. I didn't realise it had a term, but the term in games and game development, and I picked this up from Legend of Total War, was talking about it as far as the Total War engine is concerned, and it's the term of technical death. Any programmers in here, anyone who's got you know, any experiencing programmer, they probably know what I'm talking about. And what it is that the game is still in its original state, and it's been patched and changed and upgraded and done this and done that and done that, that they're so long into the development cycle now. And because they've been patching and kind of smoothing over the cracks and maybe not making the changes that they needed to, or adjusting things the way they do, we're getting to a point now where the game can't be taken any further unless they start again or go right back and really start from the ground up on what they have. And unfortunately, I don't think either are going to happen. Although, having said that, I didn't expect them to put pumpkins on heads. So that leads me to believe that's one of two scenarios. Either they have a fucking wizard at Super Bright right now, and he is doing some glorious work. That's what I hope it is. The other one is that the Halloween hats, basically for the enemies, either wasn't difficult to program or was already in the game and they found it and just never turned it on. But yes, I would be happy to take my Night of the Living Dead sigil that I was talking about, where everything is converted to ghosts and skeletons, and the lighting level and draw distance is taken down low and spooky and foggy, and everything is darker. Put the pumpkin heads on those guys. That I'd be happy with. Or put the pumpkin heads on just abominations and keep abominations in there so we can cut down on the number of ghosts. But yeah, give me my Night of the Living Dead sigil, please. Right. Bit of slow time for when we land. Try and line this shot up. Look how long it takes to come in. It takes so long. That was a bad shot. Do try and aim high when it comes to your Tempest shots as well, because you want to be trying to get headshots on them. Ow, ow, ow. Come on, don't miss. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Try not to be constantly switching arrows as well. Get out of the way! Come on. Faster, 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 monkey, faster! See that nice group there as well? One for there, just in case I've missed any. And then we go this way. I think I'm very low on life here. But also note how I haven't taken a single ghost out yet either. And that is part and parcel of the reason why I'm getting good times. Because I'm not having to spend my time taking out ghosts. I've also still got quite the crowd behind me. Now this is where I may have to skew my own rules, because there is a lot of ghosts here, and try and actually take them out. But again, note how I'm not using slow time. One left. Bow! There we go. I mean, it's nowhere near what I've done, but again, not suboptimal. There was a couple of times there where I missed important shots, didn't get the right ranges, probably made a couple of wrong teleports there as well. So, but yeah, that should give you an idea of, you know, what's possible. There's also the fact that I'm trying to comment and add commentary to everything that I'm doing as well, which, I don't know, I can multitask, but it's probably having a little bit of an effect on my play. But hey, we don't talk about that. I'd actually, the other thing as well is, what better way for them, what better way for them to try new pits out on us, or bring new pits into the game without actually putting them into the game, than by doing it in this pit runner setting. Because there's lots and lots. They've shown now to me that they can put a pit runner, they can put a pit in and lock a configuration of enemies. I think Pit of Despair would work quite well as well, but I'd like to see a different configuration of enemies in there. I'd like to see skeletons, basically. Skeletons and normal archers. Probably not cupids. I don't think that would be very good. But what a great setting to try new pits out. pits that might make it into the new game or could potentially be put into the sequel, something along those lines. Would be awesome. Yeah, maybe Agony. Maybe Agony. The one thing that I will say about pits is, in the grand scheme of things, as far as design is concerned, I'd like to think that pits aren't as difficult to design as the levels, as the configurations that they've designed. But again, I don't know the creation process. I'd like to think that the way that this game's because they say that it's roguelike, but it's not really roguelike. It's not roguelike like so the way I believe that Dungeons Eternity works is all the little rooms are modular. They are then created via like a whatever system it is that they have, and then they're checked over so that there aren't any, like, you know, you can't go any further and can't get to the exit because it's put one of the rooms the wrong way and blocked you off from the exit. So they check those things and then, like, kind of lock that level in and present them. I'd like to think that In Death does the same thing, but I don't know for sure, and no one can ever tell me it's super bright. Beanie can't either, because they don't tell him anything. Right, so let's see if we'll do a bit of a slow time. So again, this is where I would use my slow time. See those three? They line up nice. Note how I'm trying to position myself so that I'm getting multiple kills as best as I can, anyway, with single shots. Alright, let's see all of you guys done. That's a bad shot. Don't want to go too deep here. Let's get you out of the way. I don't think you do. I don't think you... Let's test. No, you do not. Hello, fellas. How are you doing? Hey! So, yeah. You do not receive damage from them. That's actually a good point, though. That's something else I wanted to test whilst we're here. But I need a group. Because I think that's not close enough. Yeah, so the explosions don't even... They're not basic... There's no explosions going on here. It's just a cool effect of the pumpkin destroying itself. I'm sure they said that the pumpkins were actually going to explode and do stuff, but they're not killing other enemies. So, that one had my name on it. So that gives you even more reason, if you are doing enough damage, to just go for a simple body shot as opposed to a headshot, because a body shot or a headshot will take them down the same way. If those explosions put the game into slow time, then I would say do not go for headshots. If the explosions took out multiple enemies, then I would say go for headshots. So, but neither of those things happen. So you basically want to, like, for instance, at this distance, a body shot is not going to kill him with a crossbow. It probably would do with the bow. So we kind of have to go for headshots. At any distance, those guys are only going to take one body shot. And again, herein lies another way to trim seconds off as well. What you go for on specific enemies and how you take them down. Like, body shot. And that allows me, because I'm not aiming for headshots, allows me to be quicker. Because you're aiming center of mass, which is a lot easier. And what I'm doing on top of that as well is, because of this rapid rate of fire that I can do with the crossbow, which I would highly recommend you try. Look at this. Look at this rubbish. You the last one? Can you actually get me? But yeah, I wonder if it is a hat or... Because I don't think the head has actually been replaced. The head is still definitely there. But it's a nice effect, and it's something they haven't done in Death before. I thought we would see enemies in Christmas hats before we saw those. I should have kept him as a bet, shouldn't I? Yeah, I thought we were going to see, like, Christmas hats on all the enemies. Or maybe, like... But then, you know, why can't they put a Christmas hat on Anakin, huh? I put in a Christmas hat on Anakin in one of my thumbnails. Yes, I did. So if anything, this shows us that Super Bright are being lazy and that they do have the ability to put things on the enemies and just change things up a bit. But yeah, so maybe Christmas is controversial. Maybe. The Red Knight. Maybe. I hope so. I hope that this is down to the fact that they've got some new wizard programmer, or maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't. Right. What doesn't make sense here to me, and we kind of need Beanie to answer this question, but he's not going to know the answer either. And like the guys at Super Bright, like as I understand it, nobody at Super Bright is interested in Death Unchained anymore. Yet they keep on doing tournaments, and then they do cool stuff like this. And I don't know, man. I feel like I'm being edged. If anybody knows what that means. Super Bright constantly edging me at the moment on this game. It's like, no, we're not going to give you IDE2. No, we're not going to give you a new level. No, we're not going to give you all the cool stuff that you want. I want more from this game. I am, as most of you in this lobby will be, and everybody on the Facebook group, I'm happy to give them money for these things as well. And they just, it seems really strange that a company, I don't know, doesn't want to make money out of me. It's a very, very strange concept for me. It really is. Like, you know, if I had a successful idea, I'd, like, not pound it for everything that it's worth. You know, you can still look after your player base. But why? Why keep us happy? What's the point if they're not going to, like, capitalize on it with a sequel? Oh, yeah, that was one of mine. So I'm trying to stay up here and let all of those ghosts get me. Save me having to wait for them to come down. Oh, we're out! Bah! Bah! I'd love to have the ability to do that, but it makes me wonder if that's even possible, because nobody's done it yet. And there's one thing that I can tell you that this game has got that no other VR game has got: a fanatically loyal and fanatically fanatical player base. You either fucking love In Death Unchained or you haven't played it yet. There is really no in between. Mods would be fantastic. But I do wonder how, if that's even... Oh, there you go. See how... Oh, that had a little bit of a lesson in it. I don't know if you saw right at the end there how the deaths were still ticking down whilst those ghosts were killing themselves on a dead me. And that's what you want to aim for in the end. Is you want to aim for having a big group of ghosts, killing them as best as you can, but if you've got the life bar for it, then making use of the life bar to do it. But yeah, I don't know. It just seems very strange for a company to not capitalize on the success of a game. And, like, you know, where the hell is IDU on PlayStation VR 2? That would... I don't know about you guys, but I think IDU 2, just a bit of a graphical upgrade on PSVR 2, could have possibly made the PSVR 2 have a really good launch, as opposed to a meh one, I think. Hell, if IDU 2 was coming out on the PSVR 2, and that was announced, I probably would have bought a PlayStation 5 again, and gotten a PSVR 2. Well, not again, but a PSVR 2. And that's even with the fact that it would be fucking tethered. Yeah, this is the... You're not wrong, Cooker, actually. This is one of the problems. Like, I don't know what people... I'm hearing mixed things about Ghostbusters. I've heard Shuey talk about that Vampire the Masquerade side of things. And I don't think he thinks it's a bad game. It's just another one of those... side of things. Yeah, exactly. Tethered Vanker, right? Oh, fuck. Indy, did you just shut that door behind me? Fuck's sake. back to your fucking indie, would you? Jesus. So yeah, things like that happen. Just fucking start again. So yeah, if indie creeps in and shuts the door behind you whilst you're talking, you know. But yeah, tethered. And again, I would probably have bought a PS5, not that I could afford one, and a PSVR 2 to be able to experience IDU on that console. Tethered or not, and I really don't like tethered. I probably would have made somebody give me a PSVR 2 and a PSVR 2 maybe. Well, if some butts are actually fucking pumpkins, so, you know. What? Yeah, no, I'd have you actually got it, Indy? I'd like to see that played because I've seen Shuey's review of it and it looks all right. See, thing is, like, yes, I would, but the other thing, what you got to remember as well, Op, is I don't. How many times tonight have you seen me snap turn? I don't turn with snap turn. Okay. I don't turn in with snap turn or smooth turn. So even with the whole tethering system, I'd still end up choking myself on the umbilical cord that's trying to give me VR life. Will you now? Boglands? Oh, Foglands, right. Yeah, Foglands looks really good. Well, I mean, I won't be playing that long, mate. I would, like, set you up for a raid after this stream, but yeah, you haven't got any control over that, so... Right. What else? What else is there? Is there anything else that's not clear, class? Anything else I can tell you? Anything more? Might go and try and do a little bit of Siege of Heaven work in a minute because I think I've shown you everything. Like, please ask, and if you think I've already said it, I'll happily answer again. That would be actually quite cool. That'd be quite cool. Do you know something that I've been watching a bit of? A game called Kenshi, which is like 10 years old now. And that would be fucking great in VR. It's, yeah, it's quite a weird one. It's the sort of game that I might actually buy and stream. Weird as fuck. Looks really good. I haven't checked Siege of Heaven. I don't think they've put anything in Siege of Heaven because that could mess up with the leaderboards. Because headshots would be a lot fucking easier if everything's got a pumpkin for a head. Especially the Cupids, right? So, right, let's see if we can get a semi-decent time here. Stay here. Bam, bam, bam. So, I suppose one thing that I haven't talked about, believe it or not, is that one of the reasons why you want to be taking things out as quickly... no, they could do a level for it, couldn't they? Or do a theme for a week or something like that, or maybe even a competition and put pumpkin heads on. That'd be great, wouldn't it? I don't know. I'd love to see something like that, but I don't need to put another one there. Good. Do need to take you guys out quickly. This is very slow. So it's at this point now that I'd probably be like, yeah, there's a guy over there and I got to get him. That'd take ages. It would pretty much just be a Cupid with wings, yeah. So it's at this point now that I would stop because things have not gone well as far as that is concerned. Oh, what are you doing there still? Yeah, so this hasn't gone particularly well. Try and... How many we've got left? Don't know. Woo! Yeah, baby! That's something like it. So for those of you who are wondering how those these scores are achieved. That was quite quick. That was quite quick. So again, note at the end how I think I had about 4 blocks of life and there was 5 ghosts, and I just dove head first into them and they all killed themselves on me, and then I still had enough life to shoot the last guy. So there's the kind of proof in the pudding that, you know, if multiple ghosts, I think it's when multiple ghosts attack you in and about the same time that you can take multiple out. You can take multiple out without losing, excuse me, without losing shed tons of health. Tell I'm working hard and getting all windy over here. It's all that dinner I've eaten, all that popcorn I've had tonight. That's another thing I'll say as well. I've literally only just eaten, chat, so, you know, my crossbow and bow skills won't be quite as good as later on. Right, let's try and go set that up. Indy, don't you fucking push me out of that door. I'm not ready yet. There we go. And I'm slow timing heal because this timer still hasn't started yet. And I want to position myself. Oh, come on! Ooh, actually. Interesting. Got to check that now. Right, so another thing as well is if you fuck up, it's actually quicker to just jump into the lava and die. Because it's right at the start if you fuck up your start. So yeah, it's quicker to do that and then try again. Oh no, no. Actually, it might be the vaping. I don't know. I don't vape that much. I suppose you hear it all the time, don't you? Better than smoking, isn't it? Or apparently not, as doctors will tell you these days, I'm sure. Right. Proper. So one of the things that I've been playing around with in this stream is slow timing to make sure that when I land from the teleport arrow, that's a good thing. Look at that. Look at that timer ticking away. That's what happens if you try again, but it does restart. Ooh. Interesting. Right, no slow time. And it's still like 2 seconds before they actually appear. It felt a lot longer when I did it previously. So again, note how I switched. Yeah, it's probably too slow. Switched to kill those guys. Come on, die. Any ghosts left up there? Just the one? Look at all that time wasted. Usually one over there. Ah! Actually got some Tempests left for a change at this point, which means that things are going quite well. Oops. Accidental headshot there. Sorry. And then this is where I want to position myself for the end. Try and kill these, because hopefully these are the last enemies. Look at that, chat. Look at that. And I wasn't even going that fast. And I, Silver, the Pumpkin King. Oh, that was quite good. I'm very happy to have shaved a couple of seconds off. However, I didn't want to be starting to do that yet. I wanted people to start catching me up, because I know that I can do better than these times, but I don't want to have to break myself on this game. I reckon I can get that down to 1:14, I think. But there you go. So that is the current fastest time by a good margin of 10 seconds to the second player. This is the guy who beat me back in the day with a run that he could not recreate. Rob, I think it is, but so very good player as well. Very quick on the crossbows, always on my heels on every tournament after that one. But he did win that one, and I didn't. But now I'm more experienced. Now I know more tricks. So, yeah. That's a thing. Oh, and somebody asks as well, like, is this the game? No, this, was it you, Kicker, who said, like, is it just the same? The tournament is the... No. No, I put my scores up. So I'll tell you about it. It's a little bit of the gaming that I do within this game. So yeah, I think it was Cooker who asked. The game isn't just this pit over and over again. This pit is actually a kind of bonus level, a difficulty spike part of the game, and a bonus level that you would go into in the main game. And the tournament is just running this pit over and over again, but it's only like little 2-minute things, and there's a lot of nuances and a lot of bits and pieces to the game. The actual game is fucking vast. So the game is absolutely okay. I'm going to take a little minute out because Cook has expressed some interest. Let me show you what this game has to offer. So that's just the tournament, which is based on a very small level within the actual game. So, now here's a problem that I have as well. I need to get 20,000 legend points to advance to the next level to be able to see what the fuck that is. And even then, I'll never be able to see what these are because they're a level after that as well. Now, I believe I've worked it out. I would need to come first in everything for 2 seasons to get that amount of fucking legend points. Anyway, so, but these are my problems that I have through being somebody who likes the shiny shinies. So, right, Cook, let me convert you. So, the game as it is. You start off in Purgatory or Desolation. You go through the levels within that and potentially take out the... do the pit as well, which gives you bonus points and bonus bits and pieces. After you finish Purgatory, you move on to Paradise Lost, and you do the same. There is no pits in Paradise Lost, and it's a smaller level, but it's a lot more vertical, and it's basically kind of... So Purgatory is just like stony, castle-y sort of walkways and bits and bobs. Paradise Lost is a lot more vertical. Then you go to the Abyss, which is basically hell. You can go to Desolation, which is kind of like a very fucked up upper area, but then pristine lower tombs. That is a harder alternate to Purgatory. You go through all of that and defeat the boss at the end of each one, and then it starts you all the way back to the start again, and everything gets a little bit harder. Bear in mind, the scoring side of things, there is massive levels of competition on this. To get a score like 54 million, I think young Mr. Fish is at like cycle 22. So he has played through the same stuff and it getting harder, and you taking more damage and enemies getting stronger, more athletic, faster, doing gnarly shit that you haven't seen them do before, like teleporting behind you and stuff. Purgatory is the place that you saw the Red Knight. So that's the main cycle play. On top of that, if you are familiar with games... I mean, this is a good advertisement for anybody who's watching it, really. But if you are familiar with games like After the Fall, and I'm sure some other people can give me some examples, like there are them in Nowhere Profit and stuff. These are basically mutators. So these are, like, you play the full cycle, but with either limitations or completely game-changing things. So, for instance, Borist, I mean Purist, no item drops, no shops, no time slowing during area selection, and after every hit you take brief immunity and time slow. Purist is basically for those people that go, slow time's cheating. Well, you have your own mode where you can go off and show us how far you can't get into the game via Purist. Mortal, you die from a single hit, but so do your enemies. There are no bosses, but everything, and there's no drops. I'm warming up more and more to Mortal, actually, but it's a good way to train, and it's a good way to unlock stuff. And then you've got Fletcher, which is my favourite. Every arrow that you draw is a random special arrow. Every shot that you miss does you damage. So it's kind of like Call of Duty's gun game, except if you miss, you take damage. You still have to do the bosses. There's no pits there's health drops in the pits and the bosses. There are no shops. The other thing to note as well, and teleport arrows don't it? Oh, and this is a lie, no achievements progression. So on top of all of that as well, you don't just go into the game this powerful. You have to go through all of these achievements. Now, some of these achievements are quite grindy, but they actually have specific advantages tied with them. And this, in my opinion, game-wise, if I could wipe my memory and start again, it would be this game that I would do it with. This, I still feel, is one of the finest ways to ease you into a game but keep you constantly challenged, because not only are you upgrading your various bits and pieces as you are going, but the game is actively getting harder through you progressing through the game as well, and then all the trials and the tribulations of that. And then on top of all of that as well, there's leaderboards for everything. So although this is a single player game, a lot of the time it feels like a multiplayer game, because there's banter and you're talking with people that are up and above and below, and then you've got my level where I'm like trying to show people the silly stuff that I've worked out to do. And then on top of that, you can add a little bit. I mean, this is a bit of a weak feature at the moment, really, but you can add a amulet to your run when you have collected them. There's only one real one that you should use, but these have their uses, and they also have their uses. These just basically give, like, this is Blessed Quiver, one special arrow slot, i.e. that one, you get 33% more arrows. We haven't even talked about the special arrows that are in the game as well. I'll show you some. But I haven't finished. You can't take a shit. Stay there and mess your pants. It is worth it. So, note how my arrows are changing on every shot. If you don't report that you almost shit yourself at the end of this, I'm not going to be impressed, Go. So, all of my arrows are changing as I am firing them. You can as well, yeah. We haven't even talked about the crossbow. Hell, we haven't even... So, that one cost me a point of damage because it was a miss. There's a curse there. That'll go off and do its thing and kill lots of enemies for us. And all of these special arrows that you see me fire in the main game, you can, like, choose which ones are your favourite, and providing you get given them, use them. Like, look at this. A little bit of lightning up in this motherfucker. There's the Tempest shot that we all know and love from the thing. So this is the Fletcher mode, but normally the game can be as slow paced as you want, and you have slow time in this game, and you should be using it. You should be using it because it's an awesome power. It's probably the strongest weapon we have in the game, in the fact that I have the ability to press a button, put the game into slow time for 5 seconds, and I can do it as often as I want. And you would think it's overpowered, but it is not. And again, that is one of the beauties of this game. You need that slow time if you want to progress much later into this game. So, and there's all kinds of special arrows. Most of them are not that good. Okay. Yeah, I might try and catch that then if I'm still up. Got a busy day tomorrow. Keeping an eye on the tournament page, making sure no one else has won it. And on top of that, so this is like a little mode, and this gives you a little idea. So that was me. That's been one section of this level. There are 3 sections, and then you've got a... Yeah, but I'm not going to keep the stream going till 12 just so that I can pass over to you. Not happening. I might stay up a little bit actually, because I do want to see it, because it does seem like my kind of game. One of the things that Shuey said about it is it's kind of a one and done game, and I don't know if I'm going to spend like 20 odd quid on a one and done game. I expect a little bit more value than that these days. Look, they're coming whether you like it or not, mate. So anyway, what I'll show you here as well, Kick, just to give you an idea, is note my movement as well. Just rushed through that entire level, didn't need to kill a thing, because you can just go straight to the end, kill the boss. You're not forced into any particular play style. You do want to be getting headshots, and you do want to be doing them at distance. So this is the first end boss of the game, who will go down very quickly, because the thing with Fletcher is you are very powerful. Oh, we've also got the shard here as well for your little quick steps. So you've got that in addition. This is one of 3 bosses within the game. This one is... no, yeah, I think he said the either or. Yeah, well, I've been told... hello, Ken. And yeah, I've been basically told that other than the occasional tournament with the season changes, that we're not going to be getting anything more. But then they do stuff. They do stuff like this and give us a new mode. So that was like the first boss. We're incredibly powerful with Fletcher mode. For something as easy as the first boss with as little health as he has. But each cycle you go through, the bosses get harder because they have more life. The things that they spawn are faster and more damaging. Thank you, Von. Will do. Thank you very much, Von. This is Paradise Lost, and as you can already see, so different palette of enemies again. We're now up against witches and cupids. These little buggers, everybody loves them. And as you can see, this level is a lot more open and vertical. And it just goes on and on and on. And then there's 2 levels of that and then a boss. So, but again, I don't want to spoil it too much for you, because Paradise Lost is where everybody gets killed the first time. Well, the one thing that I would say, Ken, is we're all kind of migrating over to a little game called Dungeons of Eternity. If you like your bow play or your crossbow play and like the idea of maybe a little bit of melee if you wanted to do that, or a little bit of magic, and you have got people to play with or not, I would highly, highly recommend Dungeons of Eternity. On top of all of that, Cooker, there's another mode called Siege of Heaven. We haven't even talked about this yet. I am not one to say things lightly, but the one thing that I will say about Dungeons of Eternity is it is the multiplayer that IDU players are looking for, because Superbright aren't going to make it, are they? It's the closest thing that we'll get unless Superbright put multiplayer into this, which they told us they can't do, or make IDU 2, which they seem to have no interest in doing. So this... sorry. Hey, look, I've got a 25% off code on my Discord, or if you look on the various streams that I've done, so have a look at the stream before you buy as well, because, you know, it might not be the game for you. I'd highly recommend it based on the fact that you play IDU. But you can get 25% off on it, and it is it's one of the first games in a little while where it's matched and then gone above and beyond the hype that has been built up for the game. And to be fair, there wasn't even that much hype built up against Dungeons. I saw it earlier and I thought, yeah, that is for me. So, oh, change battery. Yes. Good call. So the other thing I will say as well, this is more on the Quest 3. So, oh yeah, I'll talk about the Quest 3 in a minute. This... What? There's John Wick DLC in Tabor. Mate, I'm not even playing Tabor at the moment. Now that I've got the Quest 3, though, maybe. I'll have to have a word with Indy and see if I can drag him back in kicking and screaming, because I like the way that we play that. But I don't know if it's still doable. I know they've destroyed our beloved SKS. So, but gunskins are nice in that. There's a lot of gunskins being added to breaches recently as well. So this is Siege of Heaven, to anybody who hasn't seen it. Basically, this is the place to get your accuracy down. This is the place to come and kind of play the game in a safe space. You are on a platform. This is basically tower defense. You are the tower. You've got to stop the enemies going through there. There are limited specials, but there is also a massive system within this for scoring. So, like, making headshots, making normal shots, comboing them, getting trick shots, like long range. Oop, that was rubbish. Long range. Oh, that was rubbish as well. Long range shots. Shots through gaps. Like that. Gives you specific points, long shot, gap shot. So this is where you can really style the game if you wanted to as well. And this is broken up into 15 waves. And that's basically... This is Siege of Heaven. So let's just have a quick look. And then, so that's the Siege of Heaven mode. That's just one of the 9... Yeah, thank you, Vaughn, I've changed it over. That is one of the 9 levels, I think we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is one of the 7 levels that we have in this, like, dungeon defense, yeah, I suppose it is, but tower defense mode. Every single level is very varied as well. Some of them take after, like, you know, that one takes after Purgatory, that one takes after Paradise Lost, that one takes after the Abyss from the main game. These ones are then like newly created and intertwined maps with different things in them. And then we've even got Siege Royale, where you're actually on a pedestal in the middle and things are coming towards you and the portal is below you, and you have to fight them before they get in there. So content-wise, I don't know if I want more Tabor, but I could. Indy, is what I'm saying, because, well, you remember when I was trying to stream it previously, and it was like, there's no point me getting into this because I can't even show it off. But now, with the Quest 3, I should be able to. Hey, look, Weebs, you haven't seen me and Indy play. It's not Ghosts of the Boar when me and Indy are playing. Me and Indy make things happen on that game. You should see our clips. You know, show him our clips, Indy. So, I don't know. We have a laugh in that game, and yeah, it was a lot of fun actually. Hopefully so. But yeah, that extra processing power. So yeah, I will talk about the Quest 3. Hello, Meg. How we doing? God, it must be really... What time is it there for you? This must be disgustingly early. It's not even that late here. Ugh. Right, 4, 5... Like 4 in the morning there, Meg? Jesus. Anyway, welcome. Glad you could make it. I feel honoured. Anyway, so... As far as the Quest 3 is concerned, now, I haven't had any problems with the battery life. I am finding that the Quest 3 is draining my Bobo batteries... Seems to be a little bit faster. The girls are on it, Von and Cynthia, and, well, plenty of people are on it, actually, telling me to change my batteries over. I'm finding that I need... 6 a.m.? I didn't even remember what 6 a.m. looks like anymore. So, the battery life, I'm finding... The Bobo batteries used to last about an hour and a half to 2 hours on the Quest 2. You can probably take half an hour to an hour off that on the Quest 3. But if you've got enough batteries, then you remember to change them over, you can keep that perpetually going. Now, one of the things that I've noted that I've done, which seems to be the deal maker here, is, or deal breaker rather, is in the... Where are they? look how low I have my brightness. So I think it starts off about there. And for me, I don't know if that actually adjusts the brightness in the game. Probably not. But for me, that's just way too fucking bright. And this comes from my mobile phone days of... I used to... Okay, so I haven't changed any of that. But I've just brought my brightness down by about 1/3. It's still completely legible. If anything, it makes the shadows a little bit more shadowy in games as well, which is cool. It makes the lighting actually something that you have to play into. I know that this used to affect... mobile phones in the... in that same thing. Yeah, no worries, Cooker. Yeah, definitely consider IDEO. I can almost guarantee you that it'll go on sale at Christmas. If you can get this for anything less than full price, like even more than the 25% that I can give you with the discount code, or you can get from somebody that you know that has it, if you can get it for 25% off, that's ridiculous. Anything more than that, well, look at all the value that I've just shown you. You get into this bites hard. Ask anybody in here. Even ask Indy. He doesn't even like the game, and he knows that this one bites hard. Well, with Indy it probably sucks, but anyway. So I'll give my arm a little bit more of a break, and no, I won't. Let's see if I can get a better bow score. Let's do a little bit of bow work. So yeah, I'm trying to think what else. So what can I say about the other thing as well is, as far... I have showed him Siege of Heaven as well. Siege of Heaven is a great place to start off. So, yeah, I don't want to do battery save. I shouldn't have to. I want everything working top notch. Fucking standalone. Come on, sort it out. But yeah. I have found that I haven't had to make any compromises other than putting the brightness down, and I would do that anyway because I find the brightness that this is set to too high to begin with anyway. And I've, as I said, so looking at my battery situation, I'm actually at 95%. But we've been going for what? 2 hours, or a little bit longer than 2 hours. And that might be as much to do with me not getting the switch on the battery. The one thing you won't find is the battery won't charge. Yeah, no worries, dude. No worries. Glad to give you an informed review, I guess. So, even though I don't do those. You won't get this charging up. So that won't go up to like 96, 90. It won't go back up to 100%. So as long as you stay on the batteries, you should be fine. I dare say there's other things that I could do as well, probably reducing the volume. But these are all little tricks and things that I knew from the mobile phone industry, and I don't know, this is basically a mobile phone strapped to our face, so there's no reason why it wouldn't work. You know, you turn the brightness down, then the screen's not having to work as hard and doesn't burn through as much battery. The one thing I will say though is I shouldn't have to fucking do this. Come on, Meta, sort it out. Battery life when? Decent battery life when? So, last orders. Anybody got anything more that they want to know about the tournament? Or anything they want me to play around with or experiment, or anything that they think that works that I'm not doing, or anything that I'm doing that they don't understand. I am happy to go over everything again if needs be. I did want to actually... no, we'll do that, and maybe we'll do a bit of an earlier after party, and I might go and play something else for a little bit. Don't know what, though. Welsh lesson? Go to a go learn Cornish. I mean, I don't know Cornish. I'm from Cornwall, but nice one, Fee. Enjoy your Welsh lesson. Oh, where's that archer? Yeah, it might have been, actually. Come on, headshots, headshots, headshots. Don't get hit by the ghosts if you don't have to, but there are times when it is advantageous to do so. I've just seen something as well. It looks like the config has changed here slightly. Don't know if it's for the better yet or not. Taking those shots when I did, come on, change. Taking those hits or taking out those ghosts instead of getting hit by them has possibly not saved me time. Don't know if there's any there. Don't think so. Hello, Al. How we doing? A little bit, yeah. You have missed a little bit, but as I've said, I'm happy to go over everything again. But as I said, I think the main points are you don't need to kill ghosts. Let them die on you, like we know they do. Yeah, but we've barely touched the surface. Barely touched the surface in those 2 hours. And they've flown by, haven't they, chat? Absolutely flown by. Right, how much life have we got? Not much. I don't think this is going to be a very good score. What are we at? You. But yeah, tournament top tips. Let ghosts hit you. Now, where have you been? Oh, there you go. Under 2 minutes, I guess. So, let ghosts hit you. Make use of your life bar. You don't necessarily need to go for headshots on everything, because a lot of things you can kill, you can do so with body shots. What else? Tempest is the arrow that you want to be going for. I can see no reason not to use Tempest and forego any other of the special arrows. Wildfire should be obvious why you don't use that. It's not very good. And Cataclysm puts the game into slow time when it explodes, which then costs you time, because whilst you are killing the 89 enemies, every time you press slow time puts the game into slow motion, but the timer does not slow down. We know this is the case because it's happened in every tournament that we've done so far. So, what else? Anyone else think of anything important? I can't. This start as well, because there's a split, well, a couple of seconds actually, when you start the game, when you cross the threshold here, I like to teleport deep into the level to try and get as many enemies as possible spawned. And then you can knock a load of them out like that. Try and get your Tempest arrows so that they're... Oh, I see. An after-party kind of guy. But to be fair, I might... I'm trying to think what I could play. Actually, that's a good shot. I'm trying to think what I could play. Any requests? Anything? Anyone? Any requests? Any quests? Anyone want to see anything particularly on the Quest 3 that we know I have, graphics-wise? We've seen Into the Radius. We know that that looks good. I'm trying to think what else. Don't think many games... Oh, where are you? Are you up there? Yeah, he is. There we go. This way? Yeah. See, even that was quite slow. What, updated as in... Oh, what, on IDU specifically? I'm trying to think of what games actually have that much. No, I haven't got any racing games, I don't think. Well, I'll tell you what, though. That's one thing that I'd be very keen to see, is how good the... Ooh, Dead Hook. That's a shout. Dead Hook is a good one, actually. Is this the last enemy? No. Oh, we're going really slow here. I am a fantastic driver. Maybe too good. That's why you don't get into the car with me. Ah, look at this. Boo! Rubbish. Ooh, Phasmophobia. I hope that with the Quest 3 here now, that we might actually get some Phasmophobia standalone on the on the old Quest 3. I don't see why they can't make it for Quest 2. Just turn the graphics down. Loads. And you'll be fine. You'll be fine. So, there we go. What is it? Day 1? Day 2? I don't even know. But I've had a little bit of a go. Tonight's mainly been explaining. One of the things that I make a point of doing in these tournaments as well to try and destroy my competition but not knacker myself out is I try and set the bar high but at a point where I know I can improve these things. And the reason why I do that is because I want to be chased. I don't want to be the chaser. Being the chaser is how you destroy yourself on games like this and do yourselves industries and injuries. So that's like I reckon I can get that to sub 120 and I think I can get that to under 115. The fact that I managed to shave 2 seconds off whilst chatting with you guys probably does that, but if I don't have to, then I won't. Look at this as well. That's Meg, isn't it? K2's actually K2, isn't she, in this? You played yet, Kim? Let's have a look. No, Kim hasn't played it yet. Have you not played it yet, Kim? Come on now. Pull your finger out, girl. But yeah, so that's the other thing that I would have said as well. Anybody who's even interested remotely in legend points. What do you mean, weasel? Like it wasn't expected. So, on that bombshell of being first on the bow and first on the crossbow, pie, we'll end it there. This has been In Death Unchained on the Quest 3, which is now uber comfortable, and the batteries work well. I have been Silver Tongue Devil. Good night.